Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this amazing Super Sunday. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Real Peter, e- Ivan, uh, Tipa. What's up, everybody? Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Korab from Orlando, Florida tonight. May 17th, Sunday, 8 p.m. And I'm blessed, and it's my pleasure to be here tonight with you guys in next 20, 25 to 30 minutes and share my experience of over 20 years in entrepreneurship space and over 10 years in network marketing space. So I want to know, where is everybody connected from? I'm in Orlando, Florida, as I said, the house of Mickey Mouse. And it's a real example how a powerful vision can change the whole area of the country. Like if you're in Florida, you know that pretty much in Orlando everything revolves around Disney World. So how powerful is the vision of one person? So I see people from Wisconsin, North Carolina, Wisconsin, New Dakota, I guess, Minnesota, Atlanta, Minnesota. All right, perfect. Texas, great. All right, guys. So as you can tell, well, I'm trying to put together my words in English, as English is like one of my 5 languages that I speak. I currently live in the United States. I used to live in other countries. I was born in Europe. I was kind of raised in New York City, where I went to college. Then I had a company. I sold the company. Then I moved to South America. I lived in Peru, in Colombia for 11 years, and I'm just back to the United States a year and a half ago. So if I throw a Spanish word here and there, don't freak out. You'll learn Spanish as second language, or maybe you'll remember some words from high school. So tonight I'm going to try to share with you some of my philosophies that have helped me not just in network marketing, not just in Akashics, but also in life. So I'll separate my trainings in 2 parts. The first part will be about giving you clarity what we do in Akashics, what we do in network marketing. And then the second part will be a philosophy of, like, as I call it, the success formula. Okay, so it will be 2 parts. I hope you have something to take notes on. The first part is something that I've built with over 20 years, as I said, in entrepreneurship. I was 9 years. I had my own clothing company, clothing brand in New York City. I sold it. Then for 13 years, I've been in network marketing industry. So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of both worlds. So I'm here to tell you that you are at the right place. Network marketing is the right industry if you're looking to build the skills that will make you to become the person you want to be. Okay. First of all, to be successful, when we are early in the journey in life, we think that the success is a formula that I will follow step by step, and then I'll be successful. However, the success in life is becoming the person that represents the success you're looking for. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that, for example, when we join in Akashics or in network marketing industry, everybody wants to bring a leader in your team, right? Oh, I want to recruit a leader. However, what we don't realize is that those leaders that we want to recruit, they only want to work with leaders as well. So most of the times, in order for you to attract leaders, you have to become leader first. Okay, so that's the amazing part about network marketing industry. Okay, so first of all, 3 things that we do in Akashics, in network marketing industry, and how you can scale your business from being you and yourself, as they say in a song, me, myself, and I, like being just you, and scaling it to over 15, over 20,000 people. Okay. So the first thing that you have to learn is sales skills. Okay. Sales skills nowadays, obviously, thank God, finally, the sales have become something cool. You can see people on Instagram, influencers talking about sales, these guys talking about sales. So it's not taboo anymore. Back on the day, sales wasn't as cool as it is today. So sales is everywhere. We always do sales. We want it or not. We know it or not. All right. So if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, probably you did your sale. All right. If you have a family, probably you did your sale. If you convince your friends to go to a certain restaurant, you're doing a sale. So in life, we are constantly selling. All right. The question is, are we doing it so we can have financial gain or not? Okay. So first of all, I want you to get rid of that limiting belief that I'm not good in sales, because in life, you're never good or better at anything. You have only practiced or not practiced at something. All right. So who here speaks good English? Who here speaks good English? Can you put number one on chat if you believe you speak good English? I just want to know. Okay, okay, there's few people. Perfect, perfect. Why do you speak good English? Is it because you are born with it, like you're talented, or is it because you practiced a lot? Okay, some people say born with it. I think it's practice. I think you could have been born with the same family, however, be born in Turkey, probably you would have spoken Turkish instead of English. Okay, so for example, who here speaks Mandarin or Chinese, as they say? Who's here speaks Mandarin? Let me see who speaks Mandarin. I don't think not many people. Why? Is it because we are not talented enough to learn Mandarin? No, it's because we haven't practiced it. Okay, so for example, now that this NBA playoffs and everything is happening, and I'm sorry for Minnesota fans that you guys are out. However, Knicks fans are still in, so I'm happy for that. It's not about being good or bad. They say after 7 years of age, talent doesn't matter. It's about if you practice or you don't. We see LeBron James, 40, 41, 42 years old. I don't know how old is he, but he has been on the league forever because he practices. It's not even his age. It's not his experience. It's because he's practicing every day. He's trying to keep up so he can be a game time and he can be game ready. Okay. So what I want you to learn in life, you are not good or bad at anything. You have practiced or you haven't practiced at the whatever skills that you desire to build. So sales is the same thing. For example, here's a weird example. I'm the guy that I like to go to gym, right? Okay, so for years I've been working out. However, 3 years back I had an injury in my chest, and then it took me like a year to recover. I couldn't work out at all. Like I barely could move my arms. So it took me a year to recover with therapies and everything. And then I literally lost all my muscle mass that I've built for years for 1 year not working out. Okay. So where I'm going with this, even though if you practice something and you gain the skills, if you stop practicing, you lose the skill as well. Okay. For example, I've been happily married for 5 and almost 6 years now. So I'm out of dating game, right? Dating game, like young guys and like girls that are like singles know what I'm talking about. So no matter how good I was 6 years ago, if I go now on a dating game, probably I'll be rusty. Why? Is it because I'm not talented? No, because I haven't practiced for almost 6 years. Okay. So just think about it. When you think about sales as a skill, in life is worth learning because it's a skill that you will lose it everywhere. You can use it everywhere. Okay. So it's very, very important to keep in mind that you're not good or bad at anything. You have practiced or you have not practiced. You have practiced. If you practice enough, you will be good. If you didn't practice enough, you will not be good. Same thing with languages. Korab, so okay, you say you lived in New York for 13 years and now you're kind of rumbling around in English because you cannot speak. Yeah, because for 12 years I was living in Latin America. So what language do I speak there? Spanish. So I had to learn Spanish. I learned very good Spanish, so I speak good Spanish. However, I was lacking in English. Why? Because I'm not talented? No, because I wasn't practicing English every day while I was living in Latin America. Okay. So I can bring you thousands and thousands of examples that will bring home the point that in life, if you want to be good at something, you have to practice. You have to practice it. You have to practice it every day. Same thing goes with trading. Like for example, every time when you talk to your upline, to your leader, and then you tell them, "Hey, I'm trying. I did my presentations, but I'm not doing it good because people are not enjoying it." So, like usually, your upline will ask you, "And how many people did you present the business to?" And be like, 2. Is it 2 enough practice measurement to see if you're good or bad at it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I remember when I first joined network marketing, I was living in Peru. Back then, there was no social media. That's how old I am. So no social media in a country that I knew nobody. I'll go sit in a Starbucks with my laptop, with my coffee, and whoever was just sit around me, I'll start prospecting them back on a day. And then at one point, I started working so hard that I was doing 13 one-on-one presentations a day. Okay? 13 one-on-one presentations a day. Not Zoom meetings, one-on-one face-to-face presentations a day, to a point that after 8 months, I was making $6,000 a week in an industry, in a country that I knew nobody. Okay. Why? Because I understood practice makes perfect. So as much hours of practice I put, sooner or later, the results will catch up with the work that I'm putting in. Okay. So same thing with you. Whatever you're doing, if you're not putting the hours of practice, doesn't matter how talented you are, that's not going to get you nowhere. You have to put hours of practice, one and second. That's why, for example, when people talk about Kobe Bryant and his work ethic, like everybody talks about how he would get to the gym at 4 or 5 a.m. No matter how early they will wake up, he'll always be there and stuff like that, because he understood that at the end of the day, we say in Spanish, we say, haz el trabajo y Dios pone el milagro. You do the work and let the God put the miracle on it. Okay. So that's how we work in South America. That's how we build this business, because we say, okay, I'm going to put all the work I can put on and let the God do the miracle. Let the God do the miracle. I'm not going to look for a miracle, but I'm going to put all the work I can do in myself. Okay. So I'm inviting you to start considering whatever you want to get good at, you have to practice it. Okay. For example, when you see a successful trader, you know that that's not a talent. You know that's not luck. They're sitting there watching the charts. They're sitting there taking trades. They're taking stop losses. They're taking take profits, whatever it takes. But they're doing that once and another and another day. I was thinking about, and I was listening to a podcast from Kevin Trudeau, and he was saying like successful people feel is their duty and obligation to be successful. Okay. So I hope that's what you're feeling here in Akashics, because he was saying that it's not even how we feel. He was like, we feel it's our duty and obligation to be successful. That was the feeling that I had ever since I left my home. I left my home at 20 years old. I moved to New York City, back from Europe, Europe to New York City. I had $100 in my pocket. I realized when I arrived in New York City that everything was so expensive that that's not going to cover not even the food for 3 days. So I had to get a job on my third day. However, that's another story. But ever since, I always knew that it's my duty and obligation to be successful in life, because I didn't expect nobody to give me anything. So that's the attitude that Kevin Trudeau was talking in one of his podcasts. Okay. So for you too, if you are here, if you want to change the direction of your family, if you want to change your future, if you want to build your financial freedom or whatever you're looking for, or better future for your kids, better future for your parents, you want to retire your parents, you want to buy your house, or you want to buy your dream car, or whatever you want to do, you have to feel is your duty and responsibility to be successful. Okay. So the first thing you need to learn is sales. Everybody sells, just that people don't realize it. So you might as well, if the best salespeople, who are the best salespeople? Elon Musk. Elon Musk had a company that was losing money on Tesla for many years, and investors loved it. People love to pour money into Tesla, even though he was losing money. Imagine if you go to a local restaurant, and then imagine like, okay, you go to a local Italian restaurant, and then the owner is like, hey, you wanna be a partner in my business? You were like, yeah, how much money you make? You're like, no, I'm losing money. And you're like, sure, I'll give you money. And then you go after a month, and he's like, hey, Peter, you know what? I need some more money, bro, because we're still losing. You're like, sure, why not? Here's more money, man. I'll give you. How much more you need? 5 grand. Here's 10 grand. And then you go after 1 month, and again, dude, Elon Musk for years, he used to lose money on Tesla. However, investors will keep pouring money and buying Tesla stocks until to a point that it kind of picked up. However, there was many years that people who invest a lot of money on a losing business because they believed in his sales skills. Same thing with Amazon, Jeff Bezos. We know Amazon today. However, if you go back in history, I believe Amazon was for 5 years losing company. They used to lose money every freaking year. Okay, that's what great salesperson does. Steve Jobs, the creator of Apple, he created an iPod, 1,000 songs. He was selling the experience, the emotion that people will feel, 1,000 songs in your pocket. Greatest salesperson alive. So if you think about it, in today's world, the greatest entrepreneurs are not the greatest innovators. They're not the greatest engineers. Elon Musk is a physician. Physician? Yeah, I think physics. Well, he studies physics. I don't know if that's not physician. He studied physics. So, but what makes him special? He's a great salesperson. Okay. What made Jeff Bezos special? Great salesperson. Steve Jobs, great salesperson. So if you learn sales, you'll always be good in life. Always, always, always. And the good thing here that here in Akashex, here in network marketing, you can learn it for free. 100% free. Because if you want to go outside and you want to get a, I don't know, Tony Robbins seminar or course, yeah, you'll have to spend 2, 3, 5 grand or whatever it is, whichever one you choose. And then you'll see if it's worth it or not. But when you pay 5,000, probably you will pay attention. So hopefully you'll learn something. However, the Achilles heel here is because it's free. A lot of people don't learn because it's freaking free. I tell people like, dude, the information that we give you, for example, every time I teach teams, I say, it's not just that I have 13 years experience in network marketing. It's not that I've just built teams of over 15,000 active people. It's that I also had a traditional business for 9 years. Like I had a clothing fashion industry business in New York City, which is the hardest place to build business because everything is competitive, everything's expensive. And I tell people, I give you 22 years of experience, 100% free. But sometimes free, people don't like it because if it doesn't hurt you, you don't take it seriously. So I'm begging you, when you hear trainings about skills that you have to learn, being it prospecting, being it presenting, following up, closing, duplication, promotion, whatever it is, pay attention and take notes. Just because it's free doesn't mean it's a bad quality. Okay? Because in network marketing space is the only industry where you can get top-notch education for $0. Yeah, correct, but I pay a Akashic subscription. Yeah, but you're paying subscription for trading. You're not getting subscription for learning sales. Okay? So that's the first point that I wanted to teach today. The second point is teamwork. There is no such a thing as self-made. Okay? Michael Jordan wasn't self-made. He had great teammates. Okay? Ant-Man, he's great teammates, not so much. Okay? Today I was just reading right now the SGA or whatever they call him, he won MVP again. Whereas I was seeing the stats on the season and Jokic, the Joker, and Luka, they were kind of leaders on every category. Except Wemby, I think he was on blocks per game. However, is what did SJ? Why is he winning MVP? Because he has a great team around him. That's why they can sweep Lakers. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, in this industry, the first thing we do is learn sales, and the second thing we learn is teamwork. However, as they say, teamwork make dreams work. So in life, you can never get too far if you just want to do everything on your own and by yourself. But you get way, way, way further if you do it in team. And here, you will learn sales about teamwork. Okay? So here, we are in the industry where some random people become friends, and some of these friends become family. Because with time, you have your inner circle that you build, your leaders that you build, and they build you. So it becomes a team. It becomes like an all-star team of you and everybody else where everybody's achieving their goals. Okay, so it's very, very important to understand the first thing we do here is sales. The second thing we do is teamwork. And the third thing we do is leadership. Okay, in life, you can read many books about leadership. Obviously, John C. Maxwell is a legend of leadership. If you want to read books about leadership, there's a book that I recommend that Develop the Leader Within You. That's the first book that I recommend on leadership. And then the second one is like Develop the Leaders Around You. And then the third one is 21 Undisputable Laws of Leadership or something like that in English. So however, there's other people, younger people that talk about leadership, like Simon Sinek and some other ones. However, you got to understand that in life, you might try to find different types of leadership, but from my experience and from my humble opinion, the only leadership that really works is leadership by example. Okay? Nothing else works in life but leadership by example. That's why if your dad smokes cigarettes and he tells you don't smoke, you're not going to follow his lead, because if he's smoking, why wouldn't you not smoke? You know what I'm saying? Or if you're like, if I'm a dad, and if I'm overweight and I'm telling my son to go to gym, why would he go to gym? He'd be like, if that's you, like, why should I go to gym if you're not working out? You know what I'm saying? So in life, the only real leadership that exists is leadership by example. So you have to be the person that people want to follow. Okay. If you understand me until now, can you put number 3 on the chat, please? Number 3 on the chat. I just want to make sure if everybody's understanding me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, perfect. So again, to recap this first part, sales, learn, ask every day, ask every day. Guys, sales is not just to put a story on Instagram or put a post or spam people. That's not sales. Sales is a skill, is an art. It has a lot of psychology. You'll learn about people. If you're single, sales will help you a lot. I guarantee you that. Like, sales is amazing if you learn sales and you're single, because you can find a partner in life from the same skills, same techniques that you'll use in sales are pretty much the same for finding a partner. Teamwork, because you can never go far in life if you don't know how to work in team. Okay, that's proven over and over and over in sports, in many other things, where people say this guy was great. However, people around him, his team wasn't as good. Okay, as they say, you become average of 5 people that you spend most of your most time with. So that's where teamwork's coming. Okay, if you're those 5 people that you spend most of your time, or business oriented, or talking about investments, or talking about future, about building, about doing something amazing, you will be the 6th one. If 5 people around you all day they talk about getting drunk, drugs, whatever, wasting time and money, you will be the 6th one. Okay, that's just law of association that everybody knows. And the third point that you want to write down is leadership. The only leadership that exists is leadership by example. There is no other kinds of leadership. So people follow your feet, not your mouth. A lot of times in the world, people say what they want you to hear, but they do the opposite. Okay, maybe in a job that works, because you are leadership by position. For example, if imagine my father has a, I don't know, car dealership, let's say. And after a while, I take over the business. And then Peter works with me. And I tell people, hey, Peter, do this, 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 this. He has 2 options. He either follows my lead and he does what I tell him because I pay his salary, or he disobeys me, he goes against me, and he gets fired. So what would Peter do? Probably he'll be like, okay, whatever. This guy has no idea what he's talking about, but I'll still follow him because he's the one writing a paycheck. So it's okay. So he'll do whatever I say. But that's not real leadership. Okay, that's leadership by authority, by position, which meaning that you're just following what I'm saying because I'm paying you. The moment that you don't need me, you will send me to hell. And that's what happened to most of us when we get to a point that we can fire our own boss. I don't know if somebody has ever felt like that you got to a certain point that you're making money in Akashex or trading or something. And you're like to your boss, F you, I don't want to see you ever again. You know, like firing your boss. I don't know if that ever happens to anybody. It happens to me when I was very young, at 23 years old of age. But why? Because you're not being inspired by that person who's leading you. You're just following it because you have to follow them. Okay. So leadership by example is the only real form of leadership. Who's the best leader in the world? Who's the best leader in human history? What do you guys think? Write down on the chat. I want to know. What do you think? Who's the best leader in human history? From your knowledge of all human history, who's the best leader? Let's see. What are you guys going to say? Who's the best leader in human history? Jesus Christ. 2020 years ago, he signed up 12 people. He started the MLM business. He signed up 12 people. And he said, guys, you are duplicated now. Now you go build your own teams. You do whatever you need to do. What they did, they built a massive network marketing company. it's not network marketing. Don't take it like, don't take it as an insult. I'm just kind of trying to draw the parallel. And now, 2026 years later, that vision is being fulfilled by a person that led by example, signed up 12 people, duplicated those 12 people, and now we have all this following of over a billion people in the world. Okay? So it's very, very important to know how big leadership can be if you have the right vision. Okay? Anyway, so the second part that I want to cover, because I don't want to be too long today, is the success formula that I call it. I've tried to repeat this formula over and over to different people. This is something I've learned from being on different seminars, being on different places. And it's like the success formula for me is divided in 3 parts. Okay. One part is decision. The second one is commitment. And the third one is resolve. Okay. So I call it decide, commit, resolve formula. Okay. What does that mean? First of all, most of people that live in this world never decide about anything. They don't decide if they want to go all in Akashics. They don't decide if they want to go all in their relationship. They don't decide if they want to go all in trading. They don't decide if they want to go all in on anything. So a lot of people in the world that we live in are undecided. So if you just make a decision, you're better than most of the people in the world. Just making a decision. Okay? So decide, the Latin origin, meaning to cut out all other possibilities. Okay? So for example, some people call it to burn the boats. Some other people call it something else. But at the end, is the same concept. Is when you cut out all other possibilities and you just go all in one thing that you decided. Okay? The problem with most of people today is that they all have the illusion that they have too many options. It's incredible when you talk to people and they tell you, no, but I have this option and then I have this business and I have this business. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you Elon Musk? What are you running 5 businesses, 5 projects and you're still broke? Why? Because you know what's the difference between the laser and a light bulb? Concentrated energy. Focused energy, because laser can cut and can create surgeries, but the same energy can be a light bulb and doesn't do well. It gives some light, but it doesn't do nothing else. Okay, so it's incredible today that how many people you talk to them and they believe in their illusion. It's all illusion that they have like 5 different opportunities going on. Hey, there's a Russian proverb that they say if you chase 2 rabbits, you'll end up with none. So a lot of people are chasing 5 rabbits, not 2. So obviously they're not going to get none. So you have to decide in life, what is your path and what you're going to give 100% undivided attention for 3 to 5 years. Whatever that is for you. For some of us, it's network marketing, Akashics. For other people, it's something else. For a doctor decided to go on for like 14 years or 18 years of school, to get out of the school, to be in debt for like 300-400 grand and start life working to pay the 300 grand, working 14 to 18 hour days. You know, decision. Somebody decides to be a professional athlete. Somebody decides to be a professional singer. However, they don't say, oh, I'm going to do some singing, some trading, I'll do some network marketing, I'll do some influencer shit and all that. No. All in on one thing. So if you want to be successful in whatever you want to be successful in, you have to decide. Decide is cutting out all other possibilities. Cutting out all other possibilities. Stop thinking about plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. That doesn't exist. It's plan A, plan A, plan A, plan A. That's when everything becomes possible for you. Okay? The second one, commit. Okay? Which goes hand in hand with decision. Because you cannot decide in something if you're not willing to commit certain time. Okay? For example, it's very easy. At an event, you get people getting to us after we finish the speeches on stage and everything, and they come to you and they're like, hey, I'll get to your level in the next 3 months. And you're like, yeah, show me your schedule. What does your commitment look like? Well, I do this and then I have some couple of hours here and couple of hours. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, you'll get to my level. You know, you know who gets to the highest level in everything in life? People who live and breathe Akashics every day. Okay. 12, 14, 18 hours if necessary. Okay. Not 2 days today, 2 hours today, 3 hours tomorrow. You know, it's called compressing time frames. Okay. Compressing time frames as or some other people call it total immersion, where they say, for example, who of you has tried to learn another language in high school? Who tried to learn Spanish in high school? Can you put it on the chat? Because I know in US, most of people take Spanish in high school, like 1 year. And then they go to Mexico and they just learn like hola. Okay, cool. French. Well, I tried French for 3 years, couldn't learn it. Okay, cool. All right. So why do you guys think if you try to learn another language and you went for 1 year or 2 years trying to learn a language, why you think they don't learn it? Why you think they don't learn it? Why you think they don't learn the language, Spanish, French? Okay, not enough practice, commitment. The hours that you were trying to learn the language were so spread out that it was very hard for you to get in the rhythm to learn the language. That's why they say, if you learn the language, if you want to learn Spanish, you know what? Go to Colombia for 3 months. And I guarantee you, in 3 months, you'll learn more than 3 years in college learning language. Why? Because it's total immersion. You're all day around the language, 24/7, instead of 1 hour every 2 days, you know? So it's same thing, even with trading. Like, for example, if you are on the charts every day, it's different than the guy that is on the chart every Sunday, or the guy that is on charts every first of the month, or the guy that is on chart once a year. You know, obviously the total immersion compresses time frames. So that's what commitment does. Commitment does, because when we ask for commitment, we ask exactly how many hours a day, every day you're willing to give until you learn the skills that is necessary. Okay. And the third point that I want to, and I want to end with this is, so if it's decision, the first one, commitment is the second one, the third is resolve. Okay. Korab, what do you mean resolve? By resolve, what we say is that when you build a business, when you're an entrepreneur, when you build your network marketing business, you will have challenges. That's normal. Challenges are part of life. In order to grow, you have to go through challenge. In order to grow your muscle, you have to break the muscle fiber. That's going to challenge your nervous system. That's going to rip the muscle. It's going to hurt. You're going to feel sore. You need to eat. You need to rest. And then once the fibers start building back, you'll have a bigger muscle. That's what challenge is. That's why you have to resolve. So in the business, when people come here, sometimes they want to get to 6-digit, 7-digit income annually, but they expect there are going to be no challenges. And that's like trying to build a very successful multi-million-dollar business, expecting that no problem is going to happen, no challenge is going to happen. That is the biggest dream that you will have, but you will have challenges. I guarantee you. Okay. So I was telling you guys initially that I had a clothing brand for 9 years. So my degree, when I went to college, my degree was finance and banking with minor in political science. So nothing to do with fashion, absolutely nothing. However, when I graduated from college, it was the 2008 financial crisis. Okay, so nobody was hiring in financial work. Bank was closing down. People were going crazy. So I was like, okay, somebody came up with the idea, let's launch a clothing brand. And I was like, okay, let's go all in. So I went in, I decided, committed, and then resolve part is where I learned it the hard way. I had to learn everything from the machines, how you build something, how you construct a garment, the trends, I had to go to fashion shows. I had to go to many things. I have to do the networking and everything. So that's where I learned that in business, challenges are welcome. Challenges are things what make you grow, what make you better. So instead of you trying to hide from challenges that you're going to have in your business, you should welcome challenges because every challenge will grow a new version of you. You'll have a better you. The reason somebody mentioned to me once, a mentor told me once, the bigger your challenges in this business, the bigger your paycheck. Some people have $10 challenges. Okay, you resolve those. However, your paycheck is not going to be that big for a $10 challenge. Some people have $1,000 challenges, $1,000 challenges to resolve. You resolve that, and then your paycheck is decent. Later, you have a $10,000 challenge, okay? And then you resolve that, and your income skyrockets. And then later, some people, they have a $100,000 challenge, $100,000 decisions, and if they resolve those, their income will hit to 7 digits. So don't wish not to have challenges. Put yourself in position to have a high value challenges. So if you resolve them, the return will be multiplied. Okay. So anyway, this was all I wanted to share with you guys today. So the success formula, as I want to call it, is decide, commit, and resolve, because there will be challenges all the time if you're willing to grow. Same thing like if you go to gym, you want to grow muscle, you have to break the fiber every day, every week, and then it's going to be sore and it's going to come back and you're going to come back stronger with bigger muscles and you'll look better. So that being said, guys, thank you very much to everybody for being here. My name is Korab. I hope I will see you guys in person soon, and let's go to the next level. Thank you, everybody.